the bottom line is that everyone who looks at our bill says that it will greatly reduce the flow of illegal immigrants into this country, and it's done in a fair way.
And that was Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer touting the bipartisan border security bill that he helped write. It also gives money to Ukraine, to Israel, Gaza, and the Indo-Pacific region. It includes 50,000 new visas every year issued in America. It includes a border shutdown only after encounters average 5,000 people a day. I spoke with former President Trump about the Senate deal on Sunday Morning Futures. Here's what he said. Watch.
You can't do a bad deal. The deal they're looking at is terrible. It's no good, and it's no good for the Republicans. And frankly, any Republican that signs it should be ashamed of himself or herself. I think we have a chance. New York has changed a lot in the last 2 years. We have migrants all over the street. They're living on Madison Avenue. I mean, nobody can believe what's happened to New York. The people of New York are angry. People that would have never voted for me because I'm a Republican. I mean, they're Democrats. Their parents would never, they vote for Democrats. I think they're going to vote for me.
Joining me right now is North Carolina Congressman Greg Murphy, a member of the House Ways and Means Committee and the co-chairman of the GOP Doctors Caucus. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks so much for being here this morning. Yeah, have you been able to read some of this text from the Senate border deal?
Yeah, I've read some of it this morning, and
tell me your assessment.
My initial thought is sometimes that there are a few things in here I think are good. There's a few things with implementation that are going to be difficult. The whole thing is, Maria, this should never needed to happen. If there were essentially 5 things that Biden could do today to fix the border crisis, and what he's doing is he's shirking his duties over to Congress, so he's going to protect his left, and then them come up with a border bill. One of the issues also is, the implementation is going to be DHS. And, gosh, as a physician, seeing what Becerra has done, or rather not done, with the No Surprises Act that we passed out a couple years ago, and that he's rewritten the law himself, really gives me great pause that this will be implemented at all.
Yeah, I mean, what about this element that 5,000 people have to be coming in, encountered before the border shuts down, before you could do anything about it? How do you read that one?
I don't know, because are they sitting there with a little clicker on the entire border, Arizona, Texas and everything? In theory, it actually would make okay sense. If there's a certain amount reached, all of a sudden it gets slammed down, and then you have to have only 1,200 come in. But I think in effect, that's exceedingly difficult to put in. The other thing, Maria, is there's nothing about the wall. There's no building, there's no restoring of the building of our border. It doesn't have to be a physical wall, but there's nothing in there about containing an electronic wall or anything else that, at least that I've seen, reading it so far.
So how will you vote on this if it reaches the House?
I haven't fully decided yet, because, I'm not one of those ones who's going to say something's dead without fully reading it. I feel that that's the smart thing to do. That's what my constituents would want to do. But,
of course.
The fact that now they're doing this at the 11th hour when they should have done it 2.5 years ago makes me have great reason to pause.
Well, the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, yesterday tweeted out that it's even worse than he thought. And even before he saw the text, he said he doesn't believe President Biden is really calling the shots when it comes to the border, and it's dead on arrival.
Absolutely.
Watch this.
Yeah.
Instead, he said things like, give me the power, give me this, give me that.
Yeah. He knows that he has the authority. We've documented it for him. I don't think he's allowed to do it. I'm not sure Joe Biden is actually making these decisions. I think it's staff around him, and they're pushing him to hold to keep the border open.
But when you're hearing all of this conversation about 5,000 people being let in before anything gets done, tell me where your priorities are and what needs to be in this. And is it a no-go if those things are not in it?
Yeah, it's a no-go if what we're being told is true. It's a no-go in the House, and I've made that very clear to everybody involved.
Congressman, I don't understand why they didn't use H.R. 2 as a benchmark.
Okay.
Greg Murphy, are you with us?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Say that again.
I said I don't
Apologize.
understand why the Senate did not start with H.R. 2, since you all passed that already in the House.
I don't know. It was a great bill that we sent over there, and Chuck Schumer seemed to just throw it out the window and not see that that had any reason to be used. This is where we needed to start. And as Speaker Johnson said, Mike, the border could be stopped today if
Yeah.
President Biden had just done 5 things. It's very simple, very simple.
Do you agree that somebody else is directing President Biden, that he's actually not running things?
Absolutely. I've thought that pretty much since day one. I think this is Obama's 3rd term. I think it's his progressive staff. Joe Biden, the president now, is nothing like Joe Biden, the senator, has ever been.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott joined me yesterday on Sunday Morning Futures, and he's warning about the impact of Biden's agenda overall. In particular, he wanted to talk about the pause on Biden's liquefied natural gas export. Watch this.
Texas is a leading LNG exporter, for one, but for another, countries across the globe count on us for energy, ranging from the European region, that if they don't get our LNG, they may have to once again rely upon Russia for their natural gas supplies. Also, there's other countries like India and other countries across the globe where if they do not get our LNG, they may have to revert back to using coal, which obviously provides more air pollution than natural gas does. And so I got to tell you, the decision by Joe Biden literally makes no sense whatsoever.
So, Congressman, it's not just about the border that we've got critics talking about regarding Joe Biden's agenda. It's also this climate change agenda and what he's doing to the fossil fuel industry.
Well, he's not doing it, and in this particular instance, I'm sure it's Secretary Granholm doing it, which she has no clue. You know, guess what? Things go around the entire earth, and if we don't produce it cleaner and cheaper here in the United States, other countries, to the governor's point, are going to start making this, and they'll be Russia, and then they'll be much, much dirtier. You know, these liberal elites who think that if we clean up just the United States to make the rest of the world dirtier, it's going to help climate change. You know, it's just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. All right, Congressman, we'll be watching your work on all of this. Thanks very much for joining me this morning.
All right. Thank you.